Hi everyone, welcome back to this week Willy Market Update. It's a very exciting, very wonderful week for me, especially for those who have been following my videos. You have been knowing that a couple of shares I've been introducing, especially one of the biggest shares. I've been repeating saying about it. It went up last Friday, 20%. High last Friday that is so bullish, which is a fabulous day for me on last Friday itself. So this counter is none other than the C3.ai, right? So what happened to this counter is that last Friday, we can see based on the chart itself, on a daily basis, we can see a spike up to around $33.57 last closing, which is a a 21.5% upside last Friday itself. All right, so if you have been joining my video, you should capture all these upside momentum since when the price is around this area, to be frank. All right, so people who are not aware what am I talking about, is if you're first time listening to this video, please go back to see my previous post in my Facebook page. Previously, as you can see from here, right, I didn't share at this price. I shared way earlier. I even give some price level for you to enter in. If you can see from my chat, from this image, since 12 Feb, I have stated there's a few price that you can enter: 22, 20, 18, 15. All right. So if people who miss out this, the price, the boat came back that day, right? After it kept up, it actually jumped. It closed down and near to $20 plus, and this is where people tend to give up, because it actually, after the gap, it closed back the gap. People get to be disappointed. But the thing is that you can see the price has been hovering around 20, well supported at $20. So if let's say you take a bite on it, you will be enjoying this full swing by then, by last Friday. All right, so this is what I shared previously. Congrats for people who actually make a couple of trades. That means they actually, I introduced during this doji candle. So when it came down, if you buy on it, this gap up, right, you one time, come down, buy second time, it gives you a second reward as well. All right, so this is what happened on last Friday itself. Of course, before we go into more in depth of sharing sections or what's happening, let's take a look what happened on last Friday or perhaps last week, and then things to watch out for this coming week, and also share with you some of the people who actually follow and they really benefited to the video itself, or to people who actually subscribe. So either way, whether you're public or you are private, of course private you intend to get more exclusive details, right? For private doesn't mean listening to my video you won't get any benefit besides knowing what is the most updated in the markets, the view from my perspective, and also things that you may actually put into your watch list and monitor for the weeks to come, right? So continue to stay tuned, and if you think that this video really benefit you, please remember to share and like. The reason being, share and like, of course, definitely I want more people, more exposure, but nevertheless, right, this video which I do is actually, I take times over weekends, over the weeks, pay attentions, because I've been seeing many people be losing money out there without knowing what's going on in the market. And yes, I can be selfish not sharing, but nevertheless I do earn some benefit from you guys or from those loyalty subscriber as well, right? So it's a win-win. I mean, I stop you from losing the money uh, just by doing some subscription, or perhaps going forward, people who would like to gain a skill of understanding the market, you can feel free to join me as well. All right, let's take a look at what happened on last Friday itself. So last Friday, we can see that the stock actually rallied high enough, all right, for S&P, Nasdaq, basically all the three index rally way higher. Ultimately, one of the good news that actually boosts the Friday itself is actually this data, which is the PCE index. All right, this data came in 0.1% lower than expected, so it gave the market sense that, oh, the data isn't that great after all, right? And Fed may have the excuse saying that, oh, finally our rate hike actually see the effect, see the impact of it, and it actually remove. So to be frank, market is perhaps oversold or people has too much money in on hand. They can't just wait to pump up this market at this point of time. So any little good news tend to over explode, over showing what will be happen to the real market itself. And not only that, as you can see that the crisis past few weeks, especially the banking side, the SVB, where is that actually caused a panic into the market, give a lot of uncertainty whether the rate will continue or not. But because of this and of a lot of people came in to do some speaking, right? It gave a boost to the market, and that is why last Friday or perhaps last week is a fabulous market run itself. All right, so uh, beside that, as you can see, the market has been going strongly in the tech sector, in other sector, but there's one sector is still not performing well. It's actually the banking ETF. All right, this is the KRE. Do take note. All right, this ETF, banking ETF, got wounded by SVB, to be frank. All right, if you want to recover, if imagine this is going to the war, right? After they got wounded, in order to be recovered, they take times, right? It take time for the market to bring the confidence back to them again. But it's not a kill off, right? It's not ending things for this bank ETF, to be frank. Which is why, in my Facebook page, I have specially cater one page. I mean, one just the solo image for it. I showing you a few price level that you can consider doing DCA method, dollar cost averaging. By doing dollar cost averaging can be a killer if let's say you pick a wrong counter ultimately. But ask yourself this question: will the banking sector fail going forward? To be frank, all right, do we still need the banking sector, or the whole banking sector will get collapsed? All right, this is the banking ETF. Go and Google what is ETF. There's another topic if you want to find out more. Uh, if you think the whole banking sector will collapse, then please stay away from here. But if you think this is actually an opportunity for you to buy at a low price, you may consider the method which I shared last week video, right? Okay, so that is why even though for ETF itself, banking ETF, the market is so bullish, but you only close about 1% higher. It takes times, all right? It takes time. So give it times to recover. And if let's say you believe it, by buying low, it will definitely benefit you in long run. All right. So that's what's happening on last Friday itself. Okay, no more news. Let's go into what's things to watch out for next week. Take note, next week is the first week of the month in April. So usually the first week of the month will be heavily economy data release. Basically, it's a non-farm payroll, unemployment rate, this kind of data, which is very important to see whether the Fed will continue the rate hike or not. All right, so with a good news last Friday on the PCE, right? The just now we mentioned last Friday there's a good news on the PCE. Subsequently, if this news came below the forecast, I think the market will go to the next level, high up again. All right, so take note, April usually tend to be the good month for stock market, and if let's say you're holding shares like me at the moment, which you buy in previously, congratulations. It may bring you to the next level again. Now you may hit some jackpot here, but of course by buying into the correct sector, right? Okay, so before I go into the chart itself, all right, let's share some thanks to those who actually followed. They actually write to me as well. Thanks for some who actually shared with me, willing to share with me of their profit. So example, this is one of the example which I spoke to one of them. This gentleman actually entered into the the AI stocks as well. Ultimately, some people, because I'm like a stranger to you, to be frank, right? You have been listening to me. You may not put all your faith in me. I understand that. So, but take note, it's not the value, the dollar value that you gain, but it's the percentage, because everyone have different capital size. I totally agree, correct? You can be risky at 10,000, I can be risky at 1,000, I can risky 100, but ultimately, it's the process that you accumulate in the confidence that you have with me, in the confidence in trading or investing, and then that when you see the confidence up, the level of skill that you increase, the knowledge that you increase, you tend to increase your lot size as well, your position size as well. I'm not looking at like a few dollar here. I mean, we have wide range of customers here, can be earning $100, can be earning 10, 2,000, few thousands, or 10,000 or 100,000, right? But ultimately, we can look at the percentage that he make over here, right? So he actually shared with me, thanks to him as well. So you can see that he actually closed before the market spike up yesterday, 20%, right? Ultimately, I mean, it's sad to say, a lot of people out there, I believe or I assume you are one of them. When you are in the losses, you tend not to cut your losses. True or not? You pray and you hope for it. But when the market is running in your favor, you tend to take the profit too quickly. Am I right to say? And that is why in long run you're actually losing out. Is because you took your profit too earlier and you cut your losses too late. Alright, and that is why your risk reward is always, how come am I not making money? To be frank, trading or investing, you don't really need to have too many actions in a year itself. Pick a few one, ride the correct wave, and there you go. Basically, you can close the book for the years. Alright, so I may have 10 trade in a year than doing 100 trades in a year. By doing this 10 trade, if I strike 7 trade jackpot, I'm done of the year. Alright, ultimately, remember, yes, you can be retail, experienced retail, sophisticated retail, but we are still retail against the big whale out there. Alright, so try to protect yourself. But congrats to this gentleman as well. A small gain is always a first step to go on. Alright, so a couple of other stuff that this is another gentleman which I shared in the WhatsApp. As you can see, it's a WhatsApp. So shared with a couple of trade setup with him. Basically, one is JD. I mean, I didn't share in the public, so sorry, but this is on the so-called private one. So shared some JD, some Tiger that we had on the 23rd March. Alright, it's basically just last 2 weeks, alright, last week or last 2 weeks ago. So if you have entered, then you may enjoy the fruits that we gain together. So how is JD and Tiger and C3 performing? So you can see this is a few of the profit they actually shared with me. So there's actually 6 gentlemen here, excluding the options guys. So it's total 7 of them. Of course, there's many more, but I can't basically share everything, right? So it's a fabulous run. As you can see, some got 50%. Increase since they entered. You can see all the price they entered is around 24, 21, 24. Some entered at 21, some entered at 22. So this gentleman entered at 27. All right, ultimately, what is the closing price last Friday? $33.66. So this is a fantastic run last Friday itself. Everyone got different background, but it's whether you dare to take the steps or not. Alright, so another sharing is actually JD, which I shared on the 23rd. So some of them actually entered as well. So you can see from JD, this gentleman entered 40, entered 40, 63, entered at 40, 69. Alright, 7-8% is a good run, right? So when did I share it? I shared it, the price entered at market price of $40. So I believe at the point of time the market is at above 40. So people who don't want to use limit order, they just grab into the market. Don't have to bother a few 10 cent, 20 cent, 50 cent. Alright, we don't really have to care because we are doing swing or position trade. Take note, we are not doing intraday. Alright, we are not doing intraday. That's why a few cents won't kill you. You are looking for a few dollars high. That is why these few gentlemen actually benefited from it lah. Alright, so that is the sharing part. Let's go to what's happening on this week market as well. So for Dow Jones, we can see this the daily chart is so bullish, right? So where is the next step you can take note? People have been following me. You know that I'm in the fans of using Fibonacci level, right? So the next level definitely we will be looking at around 61.8%, which is the 33,800 or near 34,000. But ultimately to clear this level, we have to respect this doji first here. So I'm looking at 33,500. If able to break above with close above, we will be looking at this 34k next level, which I personally think that it may have a higher chance to reach there. Alright, it may have a higher chance to reach there. Ultimately, when we come into April, I think earnings data is coming soon. Alright, the worst data report is over. What else next, right? So maybe some good news coming up. uh, relax of being more dovish on the interest rate hike, being lower data reports on next week, being upcoming good earnings report compared to the market expectations. I think this may be a driven or it to go even higher. All right, so that is what I assume. But ultimately, if let's say close back below the 50% Fibonacci at this level, candle close below, may not be a good sign. It may actually cut off the bullish wave of last week itself. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at more on the upside perspective. Okay, so that is for Dow Jones. Okay, Nasdaq, let's take a look. I believe sometime memories fuel me. I think I said before, out of the three index itself, Nasdaq is the strongest amongst the rest. Alright, I did say that. So you can see that Nasdaq actually break above the 38.2% yesterday. I mean last week. So last Friday we can see that it's one bullish Morozu candle. That means there is no any wick we can see. It's one green candle. There's no wick in between. A very bullish sign itself. Okay, so I think the funds have switched from the finance and going back to the technology side. So for this, we shall see 30,600, which is the 50% FIBO. The next few weeks itself. All right, so high chance we may go back to 13,600. So I will continue to ride on the trend of this bullish wave at the moment. Okay, so next few things, let's take a look for people who want to go into JD since I shared, right? JD, what is happening? I shared on 23rd. I think it's around here, this level, 23rd. Okay, so we bought it up. It's a 8% write up. So congratulations. Have you reached my TP yet? As you can see, I didn't share it because I'm intending to hold it a slightly longer term. So people who wanted to enter, if there's any pullback, congratulations. Market give you a second chance for it to write it up. Okay, so where will I be looking at? This is subjective to individual. I will say out where is the TP level or the resistance level. I think pay to the respect for people who actually subscribe instead of in the public, right? So I will mention that to you if let's say you are one of the subscribers itself. Hopefully you guys understand, not that just I want to stay away from you guys, but I need to pay a respect to them as well, right? Because they trusted me more, right? So for public, what I can say is that we are monitoring on these shares at the moment. Yes, it may come down. I may not know what is happening. So risk management is then another way to protect yourself. Okay, next thing for C3, as you can see, if let's say you have saw the image itself, I give some target. Actually, I written at 38.40, but ideally, I would like to see the price go back to 42, which I hope by next week we are able to see that. So it's not a very far price apart. Let's see how far what is the next few. Okay, so we just basically need another 25% and we will reach 42 dollar itself. 25% for a week, is it tough? If the market is able to shut up by 21% just a day itself with a good volume, high volume, I don't see why we can't hit here. Yes, there means be profit taking in between because a lot of people think that this is a crap. But trust me, market is always forward looking. We believe what is happening in the market, that after it happens, right? Just like why people go into the metaverse, go into Facebook, previously go into Meta because they believe in metaverse until metaverse really feel them. Correct? As you can see right now, Facebook is going back to the AI instead of talking about metaverse. And where is the metaverse story, guys, gentlemen? So I think there's chance that it may go back to the IPO price in 42. People who have owned, all right, who have long in these shares, in a really perspective, really chart, I don't see any weakness at this point of time. So I may continue to hold on to it. All right, so that is my view for AI. Next counter we will be looking into is actually US oil. How many people out there actually pay attention? This is what I mentioned. Can you see there's a circle box? All right, there's a circle box. So on the 5th of March, any pullback is a chance for you to 5th of March here. All right, 5th of March. So I say any pullback is a chance for you to buy along. This is first I drop. All right, so you firstly, we only see here any pullback. Then when it actually break below, I think I'll talk about it. I draw this box. This is a very good ideal price to buy in, okay, because it showed a lot of support and resistance previously. And for people who actually buy into it at around $70, once again, congratulations. So in the weekly chart itself, for commodities on oil itself, if we are able to recover back on this yellow line, which is the $80, we may see the more upside. But take note, where the price go even higher, the demand may go lower, and that is why supply demand play a part. So if let's say no consumer is going to consume more oil, and this will not see any strength or pick it up to break above $80 unless China actually open up, full economy is going to go all the way, they need more oil, and then yes, it's most likely to be. So otherwise, we will be looking at $80, the next resistance level for oil itself. All right, so next thing, just to share, let me see what. Okay, Bitcoin. All right, Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin wise, okay, so my view for Bitcoin remain the same, no change, has been hovering around here. So where am I looking at? I think it's stated. Sorry, I think I stated here. Oops. Okay, so where is it? Next resistor 30. I think we are just less than 2,000 away to 30,000. 2,000 shine off. So my view remain the same. I just have to shift up my small tiny little arrow. Okay, for people who didn't bought when they break up, you want to enter here, your reward is here, your risk is here. So you give it a call, okay? So if you didn't follow me, you want to follow at the end, you want to wait until the market spike up. A lot of people I spoke to always ask me the same questions, like for C3 or for Bitcoin, they will always ask me, is it possible that I buy in or I chase in now? Then my question is always come back to you is that why didn't you pick up when the risk is slightly lower? Because you want confirmation. Definitely yes, to have more confirmations, and that is the risk that you are you're paying on. You got more confirmation, the whole world, everyone is looking, has more confirmation, and that is where the profit taking start to come in. True or not? So it's how you balance between confirmation and risk reward, and what is your profit that you're looking at. So sometimes we have to manage it. All right, so next few counter, I'm just going to introduce basically one more. All right, one more, and then I will stop. There's actually one more counter which I'm looking at, but I'm not sharing at this channel. I mean, not sharing at the public. I think I'll write up to the private instead. So yes, stay tuned. Hopefully we enter and then the market go into the favor, and then I will share it in the next 2 or 3 weeks public. All right. So this is one of the counter I'm looking. I mentioned that on the 28th Jan, support at 30, first resistor at 49, whereby we got close to there. It came back for people who didn't manage to enter. Right now, we see some movement here. Looking at the weekly chart, okay, look at the weekly chart, we may see some movement here. Okay, breaking 45, 49 may be coming real soon. Subsequently, we are looking at 63, which is the 23.6 Fibo level. Take note, arc. All right, yes, its glory has passed. All right, I know what's happening over here. When Tesla come into play, I know what's happening over here. The glory has end. But go into more in depth, you should know what is this lady inside, Katie Wood. They're holding into ARK. I think some of the counter like Tesla, Coinbase, I think some of the stocks in this ETF is still pretty decent. They caught my attention. Market may give the second chance. I think it's a good risk reward to buy it. Ultimately, please do your own due diligence. All right, so that's all for this week market update. Hopefully, you guys enjoy it. Remember to share and like. All right, subsequently, I've been doing something, trying to change the way I'm presenting. Try to share more stuff out there. Maybe going to revamp my whole website, a new page, but this is a very preliminary stage. So hopefully I can bring more to my subscriber, to anyone that has been following me. There may ways that teaching you more in depth of how do I analyze market, to guide you how to fish, then following how or what I'm fishing at the moment. So we have different group of category of people out there. Some people who like to analyze themselves, some people who just wish they are too busy, just tell me what to buy and what to sell next, by all means. So we welcome all ground out there. All right, so that's all for this week. Thank you once again. Enjoy our weekend. Goodbye.